Hey everybody, it's Flyin Ryan here with a review of the Skytech M66 Mini. This is basically a little baby version of the Skywalker that I just reviewed. So kind of cool to see this in like a little, it's not quite a nano, I think this is like that ultra micro size where it's somewhere between a nano and a micro. But you know, pretty nice little size and kind of fun to drive around, you know, small area with the little protective cage. Really, for the most part, it is pretty much everything I had to say about the Skywalker I had to say about this. I mean, it's uncrashable. I mean, you can bounce it. It can sometimes land on its side like that, but for the most part, it almost always lands upright. I'm having bad luck here, but oh my gosh. I think maybe because I don't have the battery in it, the gravity's all messed up. But usually it lands upright, and then, you know, with the battery weight in the bottom, and then once you give throttle, it always self-rights itself, so you can, you know, keep moving, keep flying. It's really uncrashable. But again, you know, it has this little like plastic part of the shipping, but they tell you to keep it. They call it a parking apron. So you're supposed to use this to start the quad out on. So that way, you know that it's on a flat level surface, because then it just sits on the plastic. Whereas, you know, if you're in the cage, you don't really know that it's sitting level. So you're supposed to take off with that, so you get a nice good takeoff. And then you can recalibrate the accelerometer by holding both sticks down to the right. So you want to do that while it's sitting on that plastic, so you know that it's level. So yeah, we'll go ahead and look more at the transmitter. This is, you know, your Xbox 360 Cyma style with the thumb pads. These are all your trim buttons here. You've got, I believe it's the left bumper is your rates, and there's two rates, and the yaw rate changes, and it's a fast yaw. I mean, for this little, you know, a driver wheel car quad, whatever you want to call it, it's actually pretty stunty. I mean, the yaw is really fast, and you can get it doing funnels in that thing. It's a little bit underpowered, so like with a funnel, it'll eventually lose the ability to lift. But you can actually do some pretty nice aggressive flying with this. It flips by, I think you press the right bumper, but then you can only flip forward and backward. It doesn't flip left and right because of the cage. You know, it'd be awkward trying to flip the whole cage. But it does do forward and backward flips within the cage, so that's pretty cool. And the Skywalker didn't do flips, so it's pretty neat to see this one do flips. The battery is swappable, and it is a, let's see, I don't think it's not listed on here, but it's a 200 milliamp hour battery. You've got a USB charging cable that comes with it, and it just plugs right into the cable there. It doesn't plug into the quad. It takes about 55 minutes to charge, and you get about 5-minute flights with a 15-second LVC warning. And it does have LEDs that are kind of inside the body, so you know, inside the body glows the LEDs, and then they blink for your LVC warning. So nice and visible, easy to see. Orientation gets a little bit weird just with it being so small, and sometimes it's like an optical illusion with the ball, the cage, you know, just kind of sometimes it's hard to tell what's what or where's coming and going, and just gets a little bit confusing sometimes. It also comes with a spare set of props, a screwdriver, and then it's got one little bracket here, and then one carbon fiber bar. So that's your this far part here that clips into the frame. That's, you get one of those as a replacement, and then there's a carbon fiber bar that goes through this metal bar. So, you know, eventually with crashing, you're going to break that internal carbon fiber rod. So you do get a replacement, so that's nice that you can, you know, fix it if you need to. The yaw rate's a little bit touchy on high rates, where, you know, you get to where all of a sudden it's not full input, but it is really touchy between, you know, manageable and then, you know, really spinning fast. So sometimes you can over yaw It's just a little bit touchy, and it is a really fast yaw on high rates. Let's see. Yep, that's all there is to say about it, so let's go take it for a flight. Alright, this is the flight review of the Skytech M66 Mini, little baby Skywalker. So we'll go ahead and give her a spin, see if I can drive around on some walls and ceilings. This one doesn't have a fly run button like its big brother, so you kind of have to manage the throttle yourself to try to keep it on the floor, but it's doable. Let's try to drive up the wall. There we go. Oop, a little bouncy against the ceiling. There we go. Pretty neat. That's pretty cool. Whoa, come back. Wrong room. Oh, so yeah, there's our flip. Left bumper is flips. So you press and hold it, and then either forward or backwards. You can't flip left or right. Alright, there's our low rates pirouette, and that's high rates pirouette. So it can get spinning, and then you can kind of get it doing crazy little funnels like that. Not bad. But it's a little bit touchy on that yaw rate. You can kind of go from manageable to all of a sudden it kind of spins out. But it's not too bad. You can fly pretty decently in high rates. And this thing can get crazy. And just like the big one, I mean, you bounce this off of everything, crash it into stuff, and it just keeps going. Bounce it on the ground, and it'll kind of eventually right itself out, and you just take off again. So pretty neat. Pretty cool little size. I like when it gets the wheel spinning like that. Look at that. I don't know if that'll show up on camera very well, but that looks pretty neat with the wheel just spinning. Wow, I had a really good continuous bank turn going there. It can get hard to check your orientation because, here, let me bring it down. Let's turn off the lights so you can see these. So I don't know if, not really a night flyer, but it's got the green in the front there and the red in the back. The red shows up pretty well, but the green is not really very visible. So just, with the dimmer LEDs and the wheel around it kind of going in crazy directions, it gets a little bit hard for your orientation sometimes. But this thing is fun to fly, man. It is crazy. I mean, that yaw rate. Oh my gosh, it's such like an optical illusion when you're spinning like that and just doing crazy stuff. Back to low rates. So yeah, the low rate yaw is a little bit too slow to do pirouettes and low rates. That's about as good as I've got there for a pirouette. That high rate, man, look at that. So yeah, the battery's getting a little low now, so it didn't have the power to keep its height while doing the while doing the funnel there. Man, this thing is just really cool. It flies so nice. I mean, with that big wheel on it and everything, and still being able to fly really well. It's kind of weird to get it stuck to the ceiling, it kind of bounces off for a while, but once you get it kind of pegged, man, stick to the ceiling. It just wants to stay bumping. There we go. Once you get it pegged, if you kind of slam the throttle, well, maybe not. There we go. pretty hard to stay on the ceiling. I don't know how I was doing it so well the first time. It just wants to bounce off every time now. Man, I just could not get it to stay on the ceiling. There we go. Still bouncing though. Weird. Whoa. Man, this thing is really cool. Alright, let's take it in for landing. A little bouncy. Man, this thing is like a bouncy ball. So springy. Look at that. Alright, well there we go. That's the Skytech M66 Mini, a little baby Skywalker. That is pretty cool, man. I have a lot of fun with this thing, and would be really good for beginners too, because you can just, you know, bash it all over the place. You got nothing to worry about. So yeah, check the video description for price and purchase link, and I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.